In this video, we'll show how a list control can now have an associated detail view. So let's start out by creating a trivial list based on some static data. So we'll go there and choose a new list control, and we'll specify that the list is based on some static data, and we'll just choose the sample data there, and then go ahead and lay out the list, and now switch over to run mode. So we can see here's our list control over here. Now let's go ahead and add a detail view to the list. So the detail view is going to show more information about the selected row in the list. So we'll go here and we'll go back to list properties, and we'll go to has detail view, and we'll turn that on. And as soon as we turn that on, you can see we get a new pane over here. So we'll choose detail view, and we can now specify the controls on the UX component that will display the detail view. Now we don't have any controls there yet, so we can use this Genie to actually create the controls for us. If we did have controls, then we could bind those existing controls to the list detail view by either mapping them individually or by specifying that all of the controls that are in a container should be mapped to the list detail view. But since we don't have any controls yet, we're going to use this quick setup Genie over here, and we'll go there and we'll say create a UX control for all of the unmapped columns, and then I'm going to just turn off that and then go ahead here and click OK. I'd like to put those controls after the list, and I'm going to basically put them in a frame that says details. Click OK, and then click OK now, and you can see that the Genie has added these controls for us automatically. And if we go ahead now and click the run button, every time I click on a different row over here, you can see that basically the detail view is being updated. And if we go back to our list properties here, we can see that the Genie automatically filled in the field map for us. So the field map here shows the control on the UX component, so that's first name, is being mapped to the column called first name in the list. So in this case, the field names match each other. But we could also have gone here, and let's go here and delete that frame over there, and then go and wrap these controls now in a container. So I'll go there and say wrap them in a container now, and then go back to the list here and specify that the detail view is mapped by container, and then container 1. So now any field in this container that has a name that matches a column in the list will automatically be mapped to the detail view. So in this case, the detail view is just simply displaying data from the current row in the list. But you can also make the detail view updatable. So what we're going to do now in the next video is show how the list can be based on SQL data. Then the detail view can be made updatable, and then when the user submits data in the detail view, we can actually perform a SQL update on the back-end database. So we're continuing with our introduction to the detail view of a list control, and what we showed in the previous video was how we could take an existing list control and then add a detail view to that list. What we're going to do now in this video is show how we can use a Genie that creates a list control with an associated detail view all at once. So let's go back now. Let's just save this as a UX list static, and we'll create now a new component, and we'll leave it blank, and this time we'll go back to our data controls and list, and now we're going to use this Genie over here. So we're going to use the quick setup Genie, which is available when we create one list control at a time. If we were going to create multiple list controls, we would not have access to the Genie. So we're going to create a single list, and then we're going to open up our Genie here. We're going to say we'd like to connect to the sample Northwind database. We'd like to connect to the customer table. Then the fields that we would like to display, I'm going to go here and choose contact name, city, and country. Then I'm going to go and say that this does have a detail view, and that the detail view is editable. So here's the detail view, and I've chosen that the detail view will have all of the fields in the query. So in this case, my query's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fields. So our detail view is going to have all 6 fields, and then the list itself is going to display all 6 fields as well. So we could choose to display a subset of the fields in the detail view, and we could choose a subset of the fields in the query in the list itself. Then we can also use the Genie to add a search part, which I'm going to leave off for the time being, and we can use the Genie to configure this list for disconnected operations, but again I'm going to leave that off for the time being now. So let's go ahead now and click OK. So you can see the Genie creates the list control and also the associated detail view, and also puts in the buttons that are necessary to commit the edits that we make. So if we go back to the list control now, we'll see that the list has got the detail view property turned on, that the field map has been defined automatically, that the controls for the detail view have been added in automatically, and that the buttons that perform all of the save and synchronize operations are all there. So if we go, for example, to the save button there and look at the code, we can see that here's the method that is being called, and you can also see that we've automatically put in an enable expression that only enables the save button if an edit has been made. So now let's go ahead now and run this. So we can go to that record there. Let's go change that here to owner, hit the save button, and then hit the synchronize button, and now we've basically pushed the data back to the server, and we've edited this value, changed it to owner, which we can see if I rerun the component. I'll see that it now says owner over there. Let's go to this record there and make an edit, and then save it, and then synchronize that over there. So what we've shown in this video is how you can basically use a Genie to set up a list that is based on a SQL database, make the detail view updatable, automatically add in all of the buttons that are necessary to take the edits that you make to the detail view and push them back into the list, and then finally synchronize those edits with the back-end server. And all of this is done without writing any code at all, by just simply making selections and from a property sheet and filling in a Genie. Thanks very much for watching.